Tehran has test-fired a medium-range missile ahead of a critical meeting on their nuclear program. Phares, Fox News national security foreign affairs analyst with us now. And Waleed, good to have you back in our program today. Go ahead and, in a macro sense, what is Iran up to, do you believe?
Bill, very quickly, the Iranians want to make sure that both their populations and the countries they control, four of them, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen, are in line with their control. So they are testing those missiles from time to time. They're going to continue to do so. They're sending drones from Yemen into Saudi Arabia. They did a couple incidents with us, with the Emiratis. All of that is to gain time. They know that they cannot win any war with the United States, but they know also somebody must have told them that maybe after 2020, political matters will change in the United States. That's their only hope. So they're playing that game.
And so let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz right now, because we've got 1/5 of all globally traded crude oil goes right through there, and the UK, France will be escorting their ships in the Gulf. What effects are those?
Alicia, at first the Iranians thought that nobody is going to go escort any ship, and then they were wrong. Now the British, the French, I think the Danes yesterday decided that more Europeans will join. It's almost going to be a NATO in the Persian Gulf, knowing that we are there with our Arab allies. I think from that perspective, the Iranians are losing space. They can now control the areas along their coast. But coming into international waters with all these Western fleets or ships, it's going to be very risky for them.
I get the sense they're losing support from their European partners. You feel the same way?
Yes, Bill. Well, just the point of, for Britain and France, maybe Germany, I'm not sure, and others to start sending units, naval units, and maybe more. Maybe they're going to send some planes as well for reconnaissance. That's a major setback for them, because they are the only ones, the Europeans are the only ones in the Iranian nuclear deal who have refused to withdraw. I'm not sure about Britain. Under the new government, there may be considerations also that there could be a withdrawal.
Well, the suggestion is that the British will go ahead and escort their own tankers through. They don't want to take the risk that another one gets taken captive.
You know, they can't, because if you allow one, what the Iranians will do, and they've done it in the past, they will take more and more. And then they will start to negotiate, release your ships, we'll release ours. That is not the position that London wants to be in.
So, and now we're seeing that President Trump is considering ending these waivers to allow Iran to have this civilian nuclear energy program. What do you think about that going forward? I mean, this is just going to bring the pressure even heavier on the regime.
The pressure was heavy. It got heavier with our deployment, with sanctions on the Pasdaran, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. This last space that the Iranian regime had, I think the president and his administration wants to close that to make sure that the Iranians will come to the table of negotiations, or guess what? There's going to be a revolution inside Iran if that continues.
So there are four countries, though, I'm thinking about on this: Russia and China on one hand, and Britain and France on the other. What's the impact there on them, on these waivers?
The French and the British know what the Trump administration wants to do. They kind of trying to adapt to that new situations. Russia and China will continue to trade and do business with Iran. What I'm not sure about is if Iran, the Iranian regime, gets in trouble with us and with this huge coalition, will China and Russia fight for Iran? That is a big question mark.
Yeah. What do you see as potential for military action? What would happen next and where as you scan that region?
It is really in the hands of the Iranians, but this is how I see it at this point in time. They know that across the Gulf, if they try any adventure, we're there. Europeans are there. Our Arab allies are there. We have a superior technology. There's no question about it. Where they would risk adventures will be against our deployment in Iraq, and even so in Syria. That is where the Iranians may be trying something. But if they do so, then the response will be very heavy against them.
Waleed, thank you. Seems to be a development by the day, right? Well, every day now. Waleed Phares, thank you so much for your analysis.